We all want to make sure that the wealth that we create is able to reach the next generation, right? It could be your kids or the third generation, the fourth generation, depending on what are your objectives, right? But in order to do so, we need to ensure that we minimize all those costs that are relevant in order to transfer the wealth to the next generation. What are the typical costs that could potentially eat into our wealth? The biggest one that most people actually don't really pay attention to is the tax. I know you don't like tax as you are living. However, most of us ignore the tax upon death. Yes, did you know actually that when you pass on, you are considered to have disposed those assets that are in your name? Yes, you might be one of those people that actually ventures into property investing, buying a couple of properties in your personal name, and you're wondering what will then happen if I pass on. Those properties could potentially be deemed to have been sold, and then you might find yourself potentially having to pay capital gain tax on those particular assets, right? Including any other portfolios that are subjected to capital gain tax. Also, you could find yourself being subjected to an estate duty. Estate duty is a tax that is payable on a dutiable amount. It gets a little bit tricky where we take in the gross value of all your assets portfolio minus all the allowable deductions. It could be those deductions that goes to, maybe let's say you are bequeathing certain of the assets to your surviving spouse. Such will be deducted, and then will arrive in the amount that we call dutiable amount. That amount is the one that is going to be taxed on for potential estate duty. So it could be a lot of money, and that's why it's so important to have a self-care. Self-care, what do I mean? Self-care in a sense that you need to continuously have a culture of running an estate planning. It could be a financial plan, it could be estate plan, to ensure that you are aware of all these applicable costs that has to do with you transferring this wealth to the next generation. I know it sounds like a too much admin, but that's why there's so professionals who specialize in this field to ensure that some of us, we look at holistically around your taxes to say, but have you considered in moving these things around so that we minimize all this? By the way, it's not only when you passes on, but even when you are living, how efficiently, how optimal are you when it comes to tax planning? Because that is another form of us losing that hard-earned wealth. Don't just donate money like that, but look after your affairs, okay? And we'll talk more on other applicable costs that tends to actually reduces our wealth to the next generation. Some of those is family squabbles. How many of you guys have actually been in families where people fight over that wealth when someone passes on and everyone says, but my uncle said he's going to give me this. Oh, the other one says, this is my brother. Then this one is say, hey, listen, we don't care. You are married to him, but he's our sibling, and get out. We don't know you. How many of you guys actually have seen those issues unfolding where people are fighting over these belongs of the deeds? Mainly because sometimes people actually just feel entitled to your affairs. Others may find that you died with that will. Now no one actually understand that what law is applicable without where the will is not actually in existence. Okay, so it could be so many things. Others people talk behind the scenes and you say, listen, Shanawame, I like you, I'm giving you this car. If I pass on, this is your car. Hey, if I'm told like that, I might come and try my luck and say, my aunt, my uncles, when he was still alive, he told me that I'm actually going to inherit this BMW or this Mercedes Benz. I love it. My uncle loved it. It's something that I can hold on to for me to connect with him. However, we are not being mindful that there's actually a law when it comes to disease estate. So those are some of the things that when you're doing an estate planning, you're able to educate your family. And those actually, especially those that are around you, so that you're avoiding, you're minimizing all these potential family squabbles that could potentially exist. Yes, so let's ensure that we do all those things. And by the way, you're more than welcome to book a complimentary 10 minutes session with me. Just use the link that is on my profile and then let's have a chat. I'm enjoying this conversation around preserving our wealth. Good luck.